Hey everybody, this is a very quick unboxing video of Waterdeep Dungeon of the Mad Mage board game. I'm relatively new to the Dungeons & Dragons board games, so I don't have the other versions, but I do have Castle Ravenloft, so I'll try to compare a little bit between the first one and the latest one. Unfortunately, it looks like my box has a little bit of a ding. It must have fallen in shipping or whatever, got a little bit of mash there, but other than that, it looks really great. Very excited to open it up. Okay, so let's take a look. One of the things I really like about this is I think the artwork, at least in the box and what I've seen so far, has been really nice. Well, okay, so in the packet, here's the rule book, and let's see what we've got. Okay, and so you can see those monsters and the heroes, so that looks pretty cool. And then, of course, the rule book and the adventure guidebook, and I think both of these are posted online, so you can kind of see those online. And here, the other thing I like about the Dungeons & Dragons is it's just really easy to take out and put back away, so this looks really nice. I won't spend a whole bunch of time pulling everything out, so I'll just get them out and show it to you. Oh, but before I pull everything out, it's interesting to note that the boards are underneath the case here. And so that looks pretty neat to start with. We'll take a look at those in a minute. Okay, so for me, the thing that was most interesting about this game was the tiles. Like I said, I only have the Castle Ravenloft, and those tiles are a bit bland, and so I really liked how the newer ones are having nice artwork. So let's take a look at those. I've just taken the plastic off, and we can see these tiles. So that's the first collection. I think it's really pretty. It's a little bit glossy compared to Ravenloft, which I particularly like. I like these things like this underground river here. That's really neat. And of course they've got the different symbols for the different types of things like traps and monsters and stuff. Again, I like a little bit of color variation here. So these look really gorgeous to me. And we can look on the back and you can see it has the standard Dungeons and Dragons tile. And again, it has that kind of a glossy finish. And you can see the other things, the traps and the coins and the different condition markers and the upgrades. So this looks really, really nice. I think the little items that seem to show up in the areas here. Okay. Yeah. I like the dead end types of things here. That's nice. Very pretty color, and I like the idea that this kind of looks like it's in shadow. You see some projections of shadow. It's even more here. You can see the kind of 3D shadows and stuff here. So that's really good. Yeah, so if you're looking for some nice tiles and things, I definitely think that these are really nice. I have Descent, and I have Gloomhaven. I also have a Massive Darkness, and these definitely are very high quality. Oh, and this kind of looks like maybe it's the cave nighttime. It looks like these are glowing a little bit, maybe. I don't actually know the Waterdeep, the storyline to it, so maybe if you do, you know a lot more about what these are. And then of course we've got the different hero cards here. Oops, sorry about that. And they do, obviously they come out very easily, so that's all good. I'm not familiar with these, so I'm sure that these are probably tokens similar to some of the other ones, games, but I'm not sure what they actually represent here. But here you've got some treasure tokens over here. Some more tiles. Again, very, very nice looking. The arch gate. This is kind of interesting here. It looks like that you can see the shadow projecting over there. So that looks really, really, really good. So here, after I punched out the tiles, I put them together with some of the Castle Ravenloft tiles. Now, of course, typically you wouldn't put these all together in the same game, in the sense that I think that there's actually a cavern and a cave, a dungeon and a cave part in Mad Mage, but you could put them together. And I just am trying to show you a comparison of what the tiles look like. Of course, here's Castle Ravenloft and then Mad Mage around there, and I don't know how easy it is to see, but it's very clear just looking at it that the quality of the artwork is very nice. So a little bit of a close-up you can see. So typically the Castle Ravenloft tiles, that's what they look like. So here's one, here's another one. So they're bright, but they're pretty uniform. Pretty much this, you've got a monster, a pile for where the monsters show up. But it's kind of bland. It's a fun game, but the tiles are a bit bland. Whereas, let me just see if I can show you some of the ones from the Mad Mage, and hopefully you can see the quality of that. Really, really nice. Here's another one. So just one more. And of course, the backs look pretty much the same. A little bit difference in coloring because of the gloss and a little bit lighter, but very, very similar. So here are the figures for the game. One sad part is when I got my game, the base for this character, I think it's called the Death Tyrant, was disconnected. So I have to figure out what kind of glue I can use to epoxy that back on. But everything else was okay. A couple of them do have like a little bit of a bent sword. I don't know if you can kind of see that. Let me see if I can show that to you. It's got like a little bit of a bent sword. That's not too bad. One of them, yeah, this guy, his sword is pretty bent. But in general, they're pretty good. So it's kind of a little bit rubbery on some of them. But in general, the quality is very good. Let's take a look. This is kind of really nice in the sense that you can see that detail. Let me kind of get my fingers out of the way so you can see some of the detail there. So they do have some flimsy parts, so you kind of have to watch it. But you know, that's the same with the other ones. I'll show you in just a second the comparison to Castle Ravenloft. They got some of the characters are very, very tiny, but I think that goes with the story. But you would consider that a bit tiny. This is a really interesting character here. So that's pretty nice. Yeah, so I consider the figures very nice. And definitely equivalent to the Castle Ravenloft. I think them a little bit better. Especially, I like the fact that on the bottom of them, you can see the name is written there, and it has white white color to make it stand out. Whereas I'll show you, like for example, Castle Ravenloft. The name is actually written on the bottom, but actually you have it upside down. So it's hard to see with Castle Ravenloft ones. So those look really nice. And I'll show you a comparison to the Castle Ravenloft in a second. Okay, so here you can see the Mad Mage figures on the right and then the Castle Ravenloft on the left. And so I think that they're quite equivalent. The colors obviously have changed, and I think that these are the villains for Mad Mage, whereas the gray ones are the villains. The sizes are about equivalent. I think actually the ones for Mad Mage are a little bit larger, except for these little teeny guys here. And in Castle Ravenloft, you can see some of these characters. I don't know if you can see the skeleton, and they can be tilting either way. And even this, I don't know how you say it, Arjan, he's kind of tilting back. I don't know if you can see it on the base. He tilts back, which is a bit irritating. And same thing for these skeletons tilting back. So I've heard in some of when the WizKids started making it, some people had complained about the quality of the characters, but these seem to be very good and definitely equivalent to the Castle Ravenloft ones. I consider them better. I like this character right here. So that's just to show you what the characters look like in comparison. So as you'd expect, the cards look almost exactly the same as they do in all the other adventures, which is, of course, what you would want. The coloring is a little bit different. You can see here's a monster card from Castle Ravenloft, and the coloring is a little bit different on the D&D, but in general, pretty much the same. It looks like we've got expert powers now. Maybe, I don't know if the other games have that, but that's kind of interesting. I'm not familiar with the Elder Rune. I know that some of the previous games had the spell and traps, so here's those decks here. But everything looks pretty much the same as the other games. The die happens to be a black one. I know some of the other games might be different colors. But that's the main things. Of course, they've got the tokens that I guess I showed when we were pulling out the board. Or I don't know what you call these things, the punch out kind of things, coins and everything. So I don't yet know the rules for doing some of the campaign. I know you can level up to, I guess level 4 is what I hear in this game. So after I've had a chance to play it a couple times, I'll do a quick review on that. Looking forward to the gameplay. I really like the fact that you can put this away quickly, take it out quickly, and play it quickly. It's just nice, easily organized. So I hope that helps you in deciding whether you're interested in this particular game. But enjoy playing. Bye-bye.